Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope you are well and good right now. I am Nikki Vanas. I'm shooting your teacher for reading and writing skills. Welcome to our fourth quarter, 7th week. Today, we will be discussing about research report. As a student, research has always been gradually explained to you by your subject teachers. You most likely receive activities or homework at school in which you are asked to solve online on concepts related to the topics that you discuss and learn in class. In this lesson, you will be instructed on how to write a research report. A research report is a long, formal essay, usually 5 to 15 pages in length, which presents the writer's view and findings on a chosen subject. However, it is not just a long composition which follow the principles of good writing. It is scholarly work and not just a collection of notes lifted from many different sources and strung together one after the other. The components of research report are follows. Number 1 is a title. It reflects the content and emphasis of the project described in the report. Similarly, it should be as short as possible, including essential keywords. And then, abstract. It is an overview of the research study and is typically 2 or 4 paragraphs in length containing 200 to 300 words. Think of it as one executive and technical summary that distills the key elements of the remaining sections into a few sentences. Introduction. It provides the key questions that the researcher is attempting to answer and a review of any literature that is relevant. In addition, the researcher will provide a rationale of why the research is important and will present a hypothesis that attempt to answer the key questions. And then lastly, it should contain a summary of the key questions following the completion of the research. And then, methodology. This is arguably the most important section for 2 reasons. Number 1, it allows readers to evaluate the quality of the research, and number 2, it provides the details by which another researcher may replicate and validate the findings. Typically, the information, the methodology section is arranged in chronological order with the most important information on top of each section. And then the result. In no longer research paper, the results section contains the data and perhaps a short introduction. Ideally, the interpretation of the data and the analysis is reserved for the discussion section. Discussion. This section is where the results of the study are interpreted and evaluated against the existing body or literature. In addition, should there be any anomalies found in the result, this is where the authors point them out. Finally, it is an attempt to connect the result to the bigger pictures and show how the result might be applied. References. This section provides a list of each author and paper cited in the research report. Any fact, idea, or direct quotation used in the report should be cited and referenced. How do you format a research report? There is no longer best format for all reports where format depends on several relevant variables. You must employ a suitable format to create a desirable impression with, of course, clarity. Report must be attractive, of course. While you should write systematically, you must use the format or often called structures that best fits the needs and wants of its readers. Below is an example of senior high school student research report. Number 1. Utilization and use electrical wires as accessories. For the abstract, this study aims to find out the utilization of electrical wires as accessories for grade 12 TVL electrical installation and maintenance students for the school year 2019-2020. The descriptive development design was used to deal with the variables. Using purposive sampling and consolidated data were determined, employed to the statistical analysis, and utilized as inputs to development of the finished product, the accessories. With an obtained weight mean of 3.76 interpreted as utilized. The findings revealed that the students could use the materials and had mastery to create such products. The research is first in the Southville in the one integrated national high school, for it enlightened the respondent on the concept of designing with an intention or attention to originality and creativity. The study covers one group of respondents composed of 27 grade 12 TVL students with 25 male and 2 female participants respectively. Keywords: utilization, electrical wires, and accessories. For the introduction, this study focuses on utilization of used electrical wires as accessories of grade 12 electrical installation and maintenance students of Southville First Integrated National High School. Making accessories with electrical wires is one way of reusing and recycling electrical wires as future entrepreneurs. So these are the research questions. Number 1. What is the level of utilization of used electrical wires as accessories among grade 12 TVL students in terms of usage of electrical tools and skills mastery? How do the grade 12 TVL students utilize electrical wires as accessories in terms of creativity and originality? Based on the result of the study, what can be proposed? Methodology. The methods used by the researcher are sampling data, collection, and analysis. Likewise, they employ the descriptive developmental research to determine the utilization of used electrical wires. Results and discussions. Conclusions. Based on the findings, the proponents are skilled enough to utilize electrical wires as accessories. Their acquired skills can be useful if they plan to put up their own accessories business applying in real-life business situation. Number 2. Although their development products were approved by a school-based electrical engineer and by a panel of research examiners, the proponents should obtain permission from a local DTI representative, have it registered in the local secretary or and then secure permits from the barangay, the city hall, and the BIR. This is in case they aspire to venture into accessories business. The result also indicated that the proponents demonstrated their competence in utilizing electrical tools and equipment without the guidance of their EIM teachers. Their initiative and independence satisfy the law on youth Entrepreneurship, which clearly advocates the putting up of micro-business, is strongly honed while in school. Number 4. The grade 12 researchers are capable of creating original design with an attention to details and safety. Project proposal. A project proposal is a document that is written for problem solving, service provision, event planning, or equipment selling. Generally, proposals are used to convince the reader to do what the proposal suggests, such as buying goods or services, funding a project, or implementing a program. Proposals in the professional world are used for international or internal with an organization, and external from the one organization to another purposes. They are ways of generating income for companies or seeking funding for projects. This is provided to the sponsor of the project for approval. Guidelines in writing the proposal. Number 1. Gathering the data. One of the characteristics of an effective proposal is well-being research. It needs concrete data to back up it claims so it can become more credible. You can gather data from primary and secondary sources and apply the strategies that you learned in writing research paper in the previous lessons. Number 2, of course, organizing the data. A proposal becomes more effective if the information on it clearly organized. You use the parts of proposal to guide you in your organization and use an outline to structure your discussion more effectively. Number 3. Writing a proposal. Fill out the parts of the proposal with relevant data. Number 4. Revising the proposal. Make sure to review your proposal for accuracy and organization before you send it out. The good proposal will be comprehensive and it will put your organization in the best light. Formatting the project proposal. Proposals are primarily categorized according to their length. An informal proposal is about 2 to 4 pages and long. Meanwhile, a formal proposal has 5 or more pages, regardless of their purpose and audience. They have standard parts such as the following. Number 1. The introduction. This part provides the background necessary for understanding the project, which is done by telling your reader the following. The rationale. This identifies the problem to be addressed and shows the need to solve it. And then, the second one is the objectives. This reveal what the project intends to achieve in terms of result. It also gives the reader an idea of the intended solution. Good objectives are SMART, and S stand for specific, M stand for measurable, A for attainable, R for the result oriented, and then the last one, the T, that is time bounded within a realistic time frame. And then benefits. This show what a reader or a target audience can gain from the proposal, which may be improvements in processing or system, an increase in revenue, or a change in behavior of beneficiaries of the proposal. Number 2. Project description. This section gives specific information about the project itself. It indicates how the project will address the identified problem through the following parts. Number 1. Methodology. This entails the different activities the project will take on, including the manpower, example, the people involved, their duties, resources to be utilized, and expanded outputs. And then schedule. This discussion, the task duration and expected start and end dates of each activity in the project. And then, of course, budget. This presents an analysis of all the costs anticipated in the project, which can be itemized or shown as a whole depending on the needs of the project. Position paper. The position paper is a composition that highlights an opinion of an author or a specific entity about an issue. As a debate, it presents one side of an arguable opinions and persuades readers or audience that the author has a well-founded knowledge about the issue. In writing the position paper, your goal is as a writer is not only to state and defend your position on the issue, but also to show how your instance or how your instance relates to other position. Do remember that arguments should be supported with reasons and evidences. Then ask yourself the following questions as issue criteria to ensure that you will be able to present a strong argument. Number 1. Is it actual? It is the actual or real issue? Can you identify two positions? Are you an advocate of one of this position? Is the issue narrow enough to be manageable? After choosing the argument to take, you must present relevant supporting evidence like factual knowledge, which valid and verifiable information. It has statistical inference, which are conclusions drawn from data gathered, informed opinions, which are based on knowledge of the facts and carefully considered principle and rely on evidence instead of limited personal experience, and then personal testimony, which are personal and first-hand experience of the writer or knowledge party. Now, here are the components of a position paper. Number 1, the introduction. Identifies the issue that will be discussed and state the author's position on that issue. A. Introduce your topic with background information. B. Build up your thesis statement which assert your position. Fast food restaurants are bad for our teeth. Fast food package should contain warning labels. Number 2. The body. Contains the central argument and can be further broken up into sections. A. Possible objection to your position in counter-argument, whose job is it to determine which restaurants are bad. Such labels would affect the profits of major corporations. And then letter B. A discussion of both sides of the issue which addresses and refutes arguments that contradict the author's position. It would be difficult and expensive for any entity to determine which restaurant should adhere to the policy. Nobody wants to see the government overstepping its boundaries. Letter C. Explain that your position is still the best one, despite the strength of counter-arguments. This is where you can work to discredit some of counter-arguments and support your own. Restaurant might improve the standard of food if warning labels were put into place. The role of government is to keep citizens safe. And then, conclusions. Restating the key points and when applicable, suggest resolution to the issue. A. Restate your position. B. Provide plan of action. Okay, that's all. Any questions? Clarifications? Additions? So if you don't have any questions, please proceed or open your learning path to answer your activity at www.gaitf.com or contact or call me at 0926-2974685. Thank you and God bless.